I come expecting Jesus. DJ on the decks is Ndiko Mutinda. Mshaisikia huyo DJ? Umesikia huyo DJ? DJ Ndiko Mutinda.
Anakuanga piti.
Anakuanga piti sana.
Sana.
Yeah.
Yeah, akuangi late.
Akuangi late. Mara nyingi ako tayari kwa ngei.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Jamani. That's an inside joke. Msijali mutanget. Mutanget soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are back and it's time for us to have a look at the newspapers. Welcome once again. This is Hope at Dawn and my name is Beatrice Nudi.
And my name is George Gishuru, and we start with the Standard and they go with the headline, MPs to Ruto, DP must be sent home. Big axe. Ahead of the president's meeting with MPs, the leaders are categorical. No discussion about dropping impeachment motion on the deputy president. It's on page 6. I see Silvanus Osoro. He is the majority whip in the National Assembly, and he's quoted here saying, "We advise the president to keep off on these and let MPs do their job. Gachagua must go." I see the Nyeri Town MP Duncan Mathenge on his part saying, "The president has no power to let anyone violate the Constitution." And so some of the grounds for Gachagua's impeachment, there are a number, but they have listed 3. MPs accused Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua of contravening sections of the Constitution. The DP is also accused of amassing wealth in 2 years that cannot be explained. Wow. Rigathi is also accused of gross misconduct in the way he relates to other government officials. That is a story that you can read on page 6. It may pass many, but for me, I'm stuck with what the majority whip has said. We advise the president to keep off on this and let MPs do their job. For me, I'm reading a lot from what he's saying, because if you are saying that advising the president keep off, so does that mean the president has been interfering with what parliament has been doing? Just asking. Sina mengi, mimi tunasoma.
It's exposing something.
Yeah, is it exposing something without him actually knowing? Because what does that say about the MPs and the many things that they have been passing in parliament? Because if he's saying president keep off, does that mean that the president has been interfering
in other times
in some of the activities of parliament? Mimi sina mengi, mimi nasoma tu. And of course there is a photo there of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua kneeling and praying at the Methodist Church in Kenya, All Saints Kinoru in Meru County yesterday. And I also see Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly. We must guard our country against any person that attempts to interfere with unity and peace of Kenyans.
Okay, and in fact on that, now that you mentioned he's kneeling, it's actually on the top page of the Daily Nation. And I love the caption, Gachagua takes his burdens to the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Wow. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua maintained his planned ouster was against the will of the people, even as National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula waded into the raging debate on the push to impeach the DP. This is a story also on pages 4 and 5. And I see Kalonzo Musyoka hinting that bribes are real, because anasema let not MPs be paid 100,000 shillings to put their signatures on the impeachment motion. We don't want to go that way. Again, this is exposing something. This is a norm that is there.
Exactly.
People are paid to push a particular agenda.
I have had stories that when a crucial bill is just being subjected to voting, a lot of transactions happen in the toilets. So money exchanging hands in the toilets. Can you imagine?
Oh my
They are selling their birthrights in the toilet.
Where?
Our honorable members.
Oh my goodness. But I also see here Gachagua ally here saying their analysis shows the motion won't succeed. It is said that 180 is the total number of MPs that, according to the Gachagua camp, will support his ouster. So there's also that. A lot of things coming up. And let's not forget that also Gachagua is married to Pastor Dorcas. So we wait and see.
Actually, they're saying the same will be tabled in Parliament tomorrow. tomorrow. Yeah, so let us wait and see. And also, we are expecting the president back into the country from the UN General Assembly in the States. And apparently, he's supposed to be meeting members of the Kenya Kwanza regime tomorrow. So, number one, it's whether he will be meeting them. Number two, whether Gachagua himself will be attending because he's a member of UDA party and the Kenya Kwanza government. And number three, whether the president will give the impeachment motion the all clear to be tabled in parliament.
We wait.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
And you know what, Beatrice? The one thing that I love about all that is happening is that Kenyans can see what is actually the real things that are happening.
It's true.
And actually, it's been captured in today's Standard because on page 10, they ask a question. Our government was a distraction. The good thing I am telling you, exactly, many Kenyans can see what's happening is that these are just but distractions from the real problems
that we
are actually facing as a country. So Dennis Kabara feels the DP impeachment is a huge word he has used. Dennis Kabara feels the DP impeachment is a cacophonous sideshow.
What?
The reality is likely about real transparency and accountability in our fiscus. You can read that on page 10. And I love it. I told you I love this because Kenyans cannot be distracted. Kenyans can see the real problem. The real problem is about integrity. Real problem is about transparency. It's about, accountability. Proper governance. That is what is ailing our nation. You know, the real problem is about the Adana deal, shrouded by mystery and shrouded by so many unexplained things. It's about the SHIF, which is to be rolled out tomorrow, and the $1 million questions on the same. It's about the CBC and the country's education system. So Kenyans cannot be distracted.
It's about the abduction.
It's about the abductions
that we still don't have.
We still don't have answers to the same. So all those questions, Kenyans cannot be distracted from the real problems facing the country.
And the worst part is we have the pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly.
Because even saying that he has amassed wealth, can all MPs
You know, I was can they account? You remember when we are having the cabinet? You remember the cabinet now after it was disbanded and everything? When they came back, all of them, especially those who were in the previous cabinet, all of them, they have increased their wealth significantly
in a very short
in 2 years.
Time,
yet we know their salaries. You know, so surely we cannot be distracted.
How can we fight the very things that we ourselves do? It only shows you, come on, nothing there is affecting the Kenyans directly.
Absolutely no one.
So it's like,
and what we are saying, I'm scared what we are saying as Kenyans. Watch our pigane. This is very personal to them. It does haituhusu. Wakimalizana, we are waiting for you on this other side. And the real questions, we will still ask you about Adani. We will still ask you about all these things.
Where are people who are abducted?
Families are still asking for their children. We still have 21 children lost their lives.
And we still don't have answers.
And we still don't have answers.
How do we just move?
How?
To an motion.
Mount Kenya, you know, they are talking about Ziguze Murima. The 21 kids were from Nyeri County.
Exactly.
You know, so if it's about the people, if it's about the welfare of the Mount Kenya region as they are trying to paint it, then we start with Endarasha and what happened and seeking justice for the 21 innocent children who lost their lives.
Oh, man.
So continue with your side shows, continue with your drama. Questions will still be asked.
We will still ask the questions.
Na 2027 msidhani ni mbali. Ni hapa tu Nova.
Nova.
All right, we go to page 2 and they say grade 9 preparation in jeopardy. 3 months to roll out. You know, these are the questions people are asking. Anyway, on page 2, they are saying why grade 9 preparation is in jeopardy, 3 months to roll out. Construction of 5,000 classes under NGCDF has been delayed due to lack of funds. Additional teachers need to be employed to handle junior school. So you can read that on page 2 as well.
Okay.
And then NHIF dies with its scandals and secrets. Tomorrow, Kenyans will be waking up to a new health scheme, putting an end to the National Health Insurance Fund that has had its fair share of ups and downs. It's on page 3, and NHIF falls with its skeletons in the closet. Salesio Thuranera, a human rights activist, exposed hospitals that were involved in swindling elderly patients suffering from arthritis. Staffer Lillian Waithera, a whistleblower of a 1 billion shilling scandal, was shot dead in February last year. You can read those very, very sad stories on page number 3. And biting more than one can chew, Ruto's projects that do not take off. It has not been easy for President to roll out all his many programs despite the numbers in Parliament. The newest project is the health financing one, which is planned to take effect tomorrow. And you can read that on page number 4. Then as we peruse inside to get to see other stories, there is a pullout. And getting to see the pullout this morning. It's the health and science pullout. Alarm over abuse of dietary supplements. Experts warn unregulated supplement use poses huge health risks, including potential toxicity. It's on page 4 and 5. And recurrent respiratory papillomatosis, a silent threat to children. It's on page 3. That is on the pullout. And some county news: surging seas tides wreak havoc at coast. And then I see Kakamega County records a big drop in teenage pregnancies as well. World news: Israel vows to keep on fighting after Hezbollah leader is killed. Over 200,000 people are displaced inside Lebanon, and more than 50,000 have fled to neighboring Syria. Israel has raised the prospect of a ground operation against Hezbollah. You read that as well. Now we go to the sports pages. Kotut spares Kenya blushes in a tough outing at Berlin Marathon. The 32-year-old star was the only Kenyan on the podium in a race that produced new champions. Kenyans who have won there before watched the action as the race celebrated 50 years. In football, KCB see off Ulinzi as AFC beat City Stars. Other matches saw Mara Sugar draw 1-1 with Murang'a Seal, while Kenya Police began their season with 1-1 draw against Tusker. Police were away for the CAF Confederations Cup, which they have since exited. And Slot, not talking of title as Salah goal moves Liverpool to the top. Flick takes blame as Osasuna shock leaders Barca with an emphatic 4-2 victory on Saturday. And that is what's being reported on the Standard.
All right. And coming down to the Daily Nation, still the things that we ought to be taking our focus on.
Yes.
Or towards. But I see here stolen title deeds, mystery deepens. So this is actually a very big case, and the security documents can be used to forge title deeds and commit land fraud, which they're calling brazen. And two conflicting statements: stolen security papers and infiltration of the government printer have exposed how daring corruption cartels raided an installation supervised by State House and revealed the extent of land fraud in the country. This is a story on page 7. And just coming down to it is so many questions, definitely. The latest development saw the Ministry of Lands and Government printer and a State House wrangle over the nature of stolen security documents that could be used to forge title deeds and commit land fraud. I see Lands Ministry here reassuring Kenyans on the theft of the papers, which has been put in court. And I see Nation established lands bosses were not consulted about the statement from the government printer, which informed the statement yesterday to clarify the matter. So still, we have deals of corruption going on chini ya maji. And now we have title deeds which are still in question. It's a mystery and they cannot be found. And this is a story on page 7. You can look at it in more detail. And coming down to the second page, I see MP's question, 337 million shillings splashed on national dress. This is something else that, jamani, I saw it the other day and I was like, oh my goodness. And this is not the first time money is being set aside for a dress. And then it flopped the last time.
I remember.
Flopped heavily. I see at the heart of the issue was the cash spent on inaugural celebrations to mark the rights of minorities. Kiswahili Day, some spent during celebrations. I see here members of the State Department of Culture, the Arts and Heritage were upset after learning that 55 million was spent on the recent Kiswahili Day celebrations. The expenditure was sourced from the Tourism Promotion Fund. Definitely. Ndio maana tunasemaga we don't have a revenue problem.
No, we don't. That has never been a problem.
An expenditure issue. It's an expenditure issue because I mean, come on, this is too much. And I see to demonstrate their displeasure with the PS supposed justification of the questionable expenditures, the committee members were specifically united in questioning the 70 million shillings planned expenditure on the national dress and 55 million shillings fully utilized to host Kiswahili Day celebrations. And definitely you can look at that story on page 2 on the same. I see tuk-tuk vroom motor race like no other. I see here Mombasa residents turn up in large numbers to witness firsthand what a tuk-tuk race entails. I mean, that's interesting. Hey, tuk-tuk zinapiga race. Na vile utoto vitu unaonanga ni kama very
stability.
The stability
is very wanting.
And I see 25k was the amount the winners the race pocketed. A return flight to Nairobi and other goodies. The Mombasa County government organized the race, so definitely we can know that a lot of money was dedicated to the tuk-tuk racing. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is just interesting. Yani vitu ambavyo sisi tumeweka kipaumbele zinashtua.
Ndio hivyo.
But anyway, moving on, page 6, Mwananchi is right. MPs losing streak continues as judges throw outlaws. So bill by National Assembly's majority leader seeks to provide guidelines on public participation. It's a question that we've been having, and we hope this will materialize to something important. But I see here there's a public participation bill 2024 sponsored by National Assembly majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah that seeks to provide a framework for effective public participation. Something we should have done a long time ago, but you can look at that story in more detail. Looking at the DN2 today, I see Rift Valley's roll ball champions. This team from Roots Academy has mastered playing the ball while skating. I still wonder how they hack it, but their students and their young boys and girls doing that very, very well. And I see coming to the sports page, Kotut, ill-timed kick cost me victory in Berlin. I see Kenyan runner saying he prematurely charged to the front in men's race and ran out of gas in the final stretch. That's on the back page. And page 39, I see we are slowly getting there. This is work in progress. Police FC coach says Coach Kimani throws his weight behind team in the wake of latest draw against ex-champs Tusker. And that's it for the Daily Nation.
Right, and finally the Business Daily, they go with the headline, revealed half of firms failed to pay corporate tax. KRA data shows 171,585 of those that filed returns paid. Low compliance rate signals deeper losses and avoidance. That is the Business Daily. Lots being reported in our dailies this morning. Grab your favorite copy. And of course, let's continue to pray for the leadership of the nation from the grassroots to the national level. Let's continue to pray for our nation.
Absolutely. And but now it's time for us to pave way for the VOD. Let's have a look.